Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Catherine and I talk about different topics. And today I'm going to talk about all that glitters is not gold, especially for those of you who intend to work in spas, five-star spas, when you enter a spa, there is this sense of calmness, the serenity. There is soft music. There is this aroma that you perceive once you enter a good spa. That is, there is no noise generally. Everything is calm. It's just smell of products. And so this gives people a sense that, man, you guys are very lucky to be working here. Well, yes, it's the best place for a guest to be. Yes, it is. But for the case of the staff, forget it. It's like any other place that people work, like a normal office, only that you don't see it publicly, probably because of the setup. Let me just mention to you some of the challenges that you meet when you're working in the spa. First and foremost is jealousy. These are some of the things that cause conflicts among the staff in the spa, especially because number one, jealousy. There is this kind of like attachment once you get a regular guest who comes to you every now and then because he or she likes your skill. Of course, as a human, you kind of tend to get attached to this person. So, come a time when this guest will maybe go to another person. There will be this kind of jealousy amongst the therapists. Like, why did my guest move to the next person? Things like that. But probably you were busy, so we convinced the guest to move to another therapist because business has to go on. And normally there is this tendency of jealousy also amongst the therapists when one therapist, very skilled normally, or has some certain skill that others don't have, tends to get a lot of clients more than the rest, because automatically when somebody is skilled, she markets herself naturally. So in this case, guests will be referring other guests to her. It doesn't need to be like from the spa itself that the referral is made, but the guests themselves will be referring her to other of maybe more of her friends. Like you will find a guest comes and says, "Whoa, I loved this therapist so much. I want my mother to do with this therapist. I want my sister to do with this therapist." Well, we feel a bit guilty, but what to do? We have to give the guest what the guest needs. And this kind of makes the other therapists jealous. They tend to think that you are favoring this particular therapist who has been recommended, especially when they see a new guest going to this therapist because maybe they were not there when they other guest is recommending her to the mother or the father, things like that. So this causes some kind of jealousy, and most of the time, uh, the affected person is front office who does the reservations because they tend to think that you're favoring this other misuse therapist rather. And then also the misuse who tends to have a lot of clients, especially if they're of the opposite guest, of the opposite sex, might start having problems with her reputation. Like maybe they might start talking of she might be doing some unethical stuff. That's why she's getting more clients. This happens in many spas, just because somebody's getting a lot of clients of this kind of maybe the opposite sex, or the others tend to feel jealous, like probably she's doing some unethical things or things like that, which most of the case is not. It's just that this person is skilled. That's why. Another thing is tips. When it comes to tips, tips are a big issue most of the time. When a therapist receives a tip or receives a tip at the reception most of the time, if they don't trust, they don't have trust. Normally, people who don't have trust are not trusted themselves. So probably they think everybody has the same kind of behavior they have. You're always suspicious that this person is going to steal or something. Not everybody has that. People have conscience. There are good people out there with a conscience. And there are people who feel like there is no need of taking something you haven't worked for. So most of the time, the conflicts arise when there is suspicion between the reservation team that collects the tip for them sometimes, because sometimes the guest doesn't have time to give them, because the moment they finish, they go to the next guest. So most of the time, the guest will leave the tip at the reservation desk, and then the reservation staff will give it to the therapist. And so most of the time you'll see therapists hanging around the reservation desk after their treatment just to see if there will be a tip given. Sometimes it's so irritating when somebody's just hanging around you, behind you. You know what they want, but they think you don't. They're just hanging behind you, then you know that they have not received their tip. It's very uncomfortable, you know. That causes some discomfort between to the reservation team, because first, you don't trust them. You're suspicious. There's even circumstances where the therapist will be hiding behind doors listening if the guest will give a tip or not. I think people need to trust one another. Okay, there's some cases that people are not trusted because of maybe one case or another. This happened. But if you always receive your tips, always, why would you lose trust in someone? It doesn't make sense, but it just causes some pathetic feeling and ill feeling towards each other. And then we have this case of untidy therapists. Not all therapists clean after them, so this normally causes conflicts amongst them, because sometimes they need to share equipment, sometimes they need to share rooms. But there are these people who have in their mind that somebody always has to clean after them. Always. Sometimes you wonder if one therapist can manage to clean after herself, even though she has another guest after, why can't the other one? So there's these conflicts that arise amongst the therapists because of laziness amongst one of them, from one of them. So this causes conflicts amongst them. And then there is this time is another thing that causes conflict. So this time issue causes conflicts between the guest and the reservation. You see, when a guest has booked a certain appointment at a particular time, it's because this guest has other things to do. That's why he picked that time, knowing that she or he's gonna finish at this time, and then we'll have other things to do. But it comes to this issue where a therapist doesn't, have a sense of time. The guest has arrived, but therapist has to finish sending some messages or talk on the phone, some things that can be done afterwards, not even an emergency. And the guest is tossing and turning in the chair waiting. It's really irritating. Especially when the reason for lateness is not because the therapist has another guest, but because she just has some personal things that she wants to do. Poor preparation, no preparation before the guest arrives. Some therapists tend to see the guests, then they run to start preparing. Then you wonder, why the hell was the system put there? Why can't you look at the system and prepare in advance? In some cases where the guests are time conscious, they don't have time to waste. They will walk away. Yes, they do walk away sometimes. And then you lose the money. Then another problem, that conflicts that are caused in the spa, is the conflict from the guests. Some guests are picky, very picky. They want a particular therapist only, they want a particular nationality only. So this makes other nationalities not feel so nice. They tend to dislike the guest, especially when the guest keeps on asking for maybe Thai, because they believe that Thai people really know how to do massage. But in reality, it's the skill, not the nationality, that is doing the massage. So sometimes we just have to tell the guest that this is a Thai lady, but in reality, it's not. But some of them know the accents, some of them have been there, so it's very hard if you tell a guest that this is a Thai therapist and it's not. Woe unto you when the guest is done, even if they enjoyed the massage. Very picky guest. Then we have the opportunistic guest. Opportunistic guests are those that always looking for problems so that they get a discount or a free or a complimentary something from the spas. As we say, we cannot please all humans, but what to do? Oh, I don't like the spa music. Well, we hope we had a DJ who will be controlling the music as per your taste, but definitely, there's different guests, so you have to keep up with the music that we have. Unless you want to carry your headphones and listen to your own music as you have your massage, we have a standard music that every guest has to hear. Oh, in other spas, they soak my feet before I start a massage in some warm water with some salt. And well, if you don't like our standard, you can just go to those spas that soak your feet, because every spa has its own standard. So you don't come to a particular spa and start demanding for the standards of the other spas. That why didn't you go there first of all? What brought you here? Then, in the case of Corona, there's some really weird guests, especially the male. They want to see the face of the lady, the female therapist, so they come complaining. This therapist has refused to remove the mask, face mask. Now, you wonder, was it the mask of a facial or the mask of Corona? You wonder why on earth will a guest complain that a therapist is not removing the face mask? Is he the one doing the treatment or the therapist doing the treatment? What do you want to do with the face of the therapist? Come on, guys. So these are some of the conflicts that we do have in the spa. It's not all that glitters gold. All that glitters is not gold. So don't see that serenity and think it's all peace. We do have conflicts also. If you like my content, share, like, and if you've not subscribed, click that subscribe button. Ciao. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Catherine, as I said before, and I talk about different topics. See you in my next topic. Ciao.